know it's a song that's been stuck in my head for my entire life. Let me listen to it. It's not that song. It's this one. Wait, hang on. I need to pop this out. None of these versions let me pop it out. Well, you can hear it. The song is always in my head. There's a show called Insomniac. David Tell is like one of my favorite comedians that I never listened to. I just know he's funny. Push this pose very slightly further. That's like the sound. That's like the music that plays when I do something naughty, like pour my coffee back into the coffee pot to make it hot again, and it mix it up with all the other coffee. And that warms it up by like 1 degree, and then my fan, which is right there, cools it off by 1 degree. So I have 20 seconds to drink this coffee while it's still officially hot. This is like the lowest end of hot. Like, if McDonald's gave you this coffee, you couldn't sue them because it's technically hot. But it's not hot. It's not lukewarm. It's hot, technically. Not that you should be allowed to sue them if your coffee was cold. I don't care how much money they have. Why is that allowed? I guess maybe people think that that makes it okay. Oh no. That just allows them to get away with having so much money when people think it's okay to rob them. Maybe. I don't know. We have to get them to pay their taxes, not rob them. Let me just like start a new document with this motion. Let me try and just like make this. Maybe it would be funnier if he was like using 2 fingers. That's what I thought it looked like for a second, and I feel like I should change it to that. Not like that, but like pinching it even more like. Well, actually, I have to raise the hand up if I want that. Yes, there you go. That's pretty funny. The hand is the same, maybe. Disappointed by the lack of clouds in this stream. My head's up in the clouds. You don't have to see them because I can. Sword. Shitty, but you know. Yeah, I could just do it the simple way. Be easier. And then just like tween it. Not like that. Yeah, that looks shitful because I'm actually moving the whole rock and shit. Let me just not. Yeah, I'll just in the final animation figure that out. It's not hot anymore. It's warm now. It's officially warm. Officially warm. to try this first, right? Because this is funnier looking and more painful. What else could he use? His nose? Well, wait, I did another drawing of him using his teeth. How's it going? My back hurts. I hate drawing. I hate phones. I hate tablets. I hate how bad my body is in pain. I had to replace my phone recently, and it's like I didn't even want to. Fucking shitty fuck. It's like every time I'm using it like it's like the most painful thing. You don't even realize while you're doing it. These are just guides. It's not gonna look this shitty. What else? Anything? The other way he can take this out? I feel like nostril and eyeball are going too far. Like, he's not going to use his eyelid to try and remove it, is he? I guess he could, but I feel like just you know, these ones are the funnier ones. Good things come in threes, so maybe this is enough. Although something might come to me later. And then, of course, who actually does pull the sword? Is it Dust? Hey, what happened here? He picks up the rock and tries to shake the sword out. Wait, that's a funny idea. Maybe instead he should be like, you know, like maybe like one of the guards sees him trying to steal the sword, and he's just like, huh? And he's like, aha! And he just like picks it up. He just picks the entire thing up, like with the rock. Aha! On guard! I have a sword! Covered in dirt. Should try making this a little closer to the middle of the screen. And it's like, the rock is pretty big, so you could like hit people with it. It's like a hammer. It's like Thor's hammer. The sword flings him off screen. Or yeah, like maybe he uses the fact that he can't pull the sword to his advantage. Like, he like does like a diving board thing. Off I go. Fuck are you? Jay, if you don't mind, when is Dog of Wisdom coming out? Probably later this year. I don't have it quite yet, but I think I know what the dog is gonna look like. There's gonna be a different dog in this one. It's kind of like this. I haven't figured out the plot. I just know what the dog is. I just realized that there should be like a little chihuahua. Well, Dog of Wisdom is a chihuahua, but this is like an even more chihuahua. What does this one fly? Maybe a little helicopter? They all have to fly something, don't they? It could be a little balloon. I feel like that one might actually be, yeah, that is actually what I want. This needs to be like a little basket. I don't actually know what the dog looks like that good because I've never had a Chihuahua. Heidi is her own species. She's, it's not. She's part Chihuahua, but I feel like it's not really fair to call her a Chihuahua. This is what they look like, isn't it? Yeah, a little hot air balloon. And it goes. Chihuahua. That's all you need to know because that's all I know. That's the whole fucking thing. Chihuahua. I'll figure out the rest later. Give me like 6 months and there will be a video of this. Maybe less. I'm not sure what this dog wants. It's not the same as the dachshund. It doesn't really want doesn't want to conquer. But it receives the wisdom anyway. God, I love my wife, and my son, and my dog, and my content creator. I just found out my content creator betrayed me! It's not fair. I'm thinking of breaking up with them. Or yeah, like instead of using it as a diving board, he should probably just like stretch his whole body across the screen, like. See what my face looks like. And like the sword should still just be like completely still. I think that's funnier than it wobbling somehow, because that shows that he's able to move the sword, which he shouldn't. The sword shouldn't really like. It shouldn't have cartoon physics, right? It shouldn't go... It's supposed to be like, you know, pretty durable. Although I guess the joke could be that it's a cheapo sword. But I think, you know, using the same logic that he can't pull it or even move it at all, he could just like launch himself by stretching himself across. Fling. And then just without it moving at all. Put pepper in the video? Well, I mean, we'll see. Springtime for pepper and Germany. His teeth change a lot. Maybe just for this shot I should keep it consistent. No! 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 Just like flies into this guy. Draw him fighting more guards. This guy with a big shield. I'm not sure if this sword would need guards, although I guess if somebody actually took it, they'd be like, hey! They're like, no one's been able to pull the sword, but if someone pulls it, they'd be like, wait! That's saved. We're reserving that for the king. It's like, well, I thought I was the king. It's like, no! Not you! Does this guy even have a sword? He just has a weapon. I mean, he just has a fist. This guy whose torso just ends at his pecs, just pecs and feet. I ran out of space. I like how the like mean looking night critters and like Kirby games look. That's, you know, basically what I was thinking. Just like a knight with a head and feet. That's, you know, intimidating. big is he in comparison to this guy? He's not very big. He's like this big. There was a storyboard. I'd have to like look for it, but there was a storyboard of him fighting Kingus. Who I'll do like a crappy recreation of it because I don't want to redo it already if I had made it up already before. But like Kingus is just like the king of the land. He's just like a guy with a tiny head and a humongous crown, and like, you know, he has basically no detail on his face. It's just a circle, but like his crown is really detailed, and he has like a gigantic sword. It's like bigger than him even. And I want there to be a scene where he duels with Frumple, and he's like, he's fighting him. He's got this massive sword, like two-handed sword, that, and Frumplequest is just like using one of those little fake, like, kind of like toothpicks. It's like a toothpick shaped like a sword. And he's like, you know, he's actually like winning against this guy with a real sword. Gotta like get the hand looking right. Aha! How about you? It's a bit of fencing. Have him posing like this to show that he's straining, or maybe meaning just like, yeah, like just having his shoulders up to show that he's straining. And eventually he fells the king and takes his crown. I'm the king now. That's how it works. Crown is even bigger on his head because it's a cartoon. But he soon realizes that heavy weighs the crown, literally. And I guess he has to fight everybody else because nobody accepts him as king. He's just going to be king of a country with nobody in it because he's going to kill everybody. He should have, you know, always have a card up his sleeve, like, throws dust at an enemy and instant kill. This is great. I'm having fun now. Been a long time since I brought this dude back. Hey Joe, want to discuss the concept of postmodernism? Yeah, I guess. Not really. Maybe if I knew what it was. I am still interested though because it feels like like when I was learning about modernism in art history, we were talking about like 1920, 100 years ago. That's modernism. So postmodernism must have been like 50 years ago. Like what's postmodernism? What's the earliest thing to call itself postmodernism? Maybe can you tell me that? Also, I can turn down slow mode so we can have more of a discussion. But Rocky, if you see anybody spamming, please do the right thing. All right, I turned it off. We can just like discuss this. What is postmodernism? Somebody give me the details. And use examples, because I still don't know. And also, if anybody's hearing this shit for the first time, I want to discuss the concept of post-communism. Is it anything related to postmodernism? Because it feels as if communism is like a reaction to modernism. Like, you think of like industrialization changing everything, perhaps for the worst, and people being like, well, what about us? Don't we get anything? Yeah, we get propaganda and stale rations. I mean, maybe communism worked somewhere. But feels like, kind of a pie in the sky. Yeah, this idea that everyone will accept everyone else. Hey Joe, want to talk about the history of Super Mario 64? Well, I'm not sure if you're asking because you know something or if you think I know something, because I don't. I like Mario 64 though. It's like an upsetting game. It's like everyone loves that game because it's upsetting. The art is sort of ugly, and people have turned it into a meme about the game being like it like kills you or something. Or I guess the a better explanation is like people joke about Mario 64 being haunted because it's just creepy in some way. It's just uncanny in some way. But that's not history, that's just made up. I do think it's interesting though that it caught on because we all kind of agree that game's a little bit haunted. I'm not sure what it is about it, but it seems like there's theories. There's pure bloodlust in his eyes. Yeah, let me add like a little bit of reflection. In his eye, reflected is the world in which he wishes to ruin. So you see the sun, you see that there's like a beach, and then there's like some palm trees. Ruin. Thinking about dollar sign. Ruin. He like uses his tongue to lick all the sand off of the beach. Jaw open as much as you can. This, this tongue may be looking like. Yeah. Yeah, like that. What else? So like frump, he's a criminal. He would probably get arrested a lot, and have to bargain, have to try to appeal. And be like, he's got a sob story. I just wanted a happy home! And everyone is so mean to me! Ren and Stimpy shit. Giant bulging arm. I just got here, and everyone's been so rude. I've barely even said anything. I barely even said a word, and she's given me this look. This real done-up look. What's the bunny police thing? I gotta get the voices. I gotta like write that and get the voices. So I think I'm gonna take a break from that for now. And work on a couple more less what do you call it? Things that are still in like the planning phase, like this. I usually can't do it where I just like start and finish something. I usually have to like step away from it for a little bit. How long has it been since the last one? Oh man, I like was gonna make one a few years ago, but that one was canceled. There's a lot that have been canceled. The last one was a long time ago. It was like 2017. Of course, his best friend. It's funny, like I thought maybe there should be like a greater villain for Frumple Quest, but I realized that Naked Fat Guy was always the best villain for him because he's impossible to defeat. I mean, he sort of defeats him, but he can't permanently kill him. You can't defeat him with violence. Definitely not. Because he's a figment. I know it kind of looks like he's being grabbed by Naked Fat Guy because of this, but this is a coincidence. Also, his muscles are much weaker than that. He's pretty pewed. Although he is pretty big, so he's intimidating. Why do they hate each other anyway? That I'm not sure. I think yeah, like, you know, it showed the origin in the last episode. He laughs at Frumple Quest, and that's why Frumple Quest hates him. He laughed at him. He's like really, he's got a lot of pride for a guy who does nothing. Mrr. Sitting in jail. With his head on the cot like that. I feel like there wouldn't be like a toilet, like a modern toilet, but I don't know. I'll just put this here for now. A toilet that does email. I don't know. It would be like the Joker movie. What would be like the Joker movie? I already forgot. How's your creative process? Do you write the script and later animate? Or is it the other way around? Anime, autocomplete. No, I don't write any scripts ever unless I need voices from people. Then I just turn the cartoon, which is the script is written. It's like there's dialogue, but it's written into the storyboard. Here, I can probably just open up. If you want to see, I can open up some of a Vera Viv Give, like from the Vera cartoon. Where's one of these? Password. Here's one. So like, there's a bunch of layers. Let me just like hide all of them except for the guide. You can see like these frames. This is what went through flow frames, and like now they're here as, oh my god, this is actually a huge pain in the ass. I don't know if flow frames is worth it. It saves a little time, but then you have to import them, all the bitmaps into here, and then you have to trace bitmap because Flash just can't handle all that bitmappage. It's actually more computationally cheaper to turn them into these like crundy vector images. So here, let me hit play. This is not the first version though. Here, let me show you the old one that's in the old folder. What was it called? Password? No, it's not. It's not even called password back then. Maybe I didn't make a backup? Well, it doesn't matter. No, it wasn't that. Oh, this looks like it. Maybe. This is like the old ass before. Oh yeah, I was actually gonna go with a really different style. I was gonna do just like a regular inked cartoon. This was a really simple test I did to try and see like just how I felt about the look, and also to see how it would work with flow frames, which, by the way, it looked like shit. But it was a very good test because it showed me that I need to, this was done by hand, but the in-betweens, not good. Was it this? Yep. Look how shit. Look at it trying to. It's it's still kind of cool. It got some of that, but it's not like what I was hoping was that it would be not that bad of a job to like go in and like fix some of these, but I think this was the one frame I worked on to like try and make it look better, but it's just not. It doesn't look that good. It's not worth it. So yeah, flow frames is better used for. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I just closed out of that before showing the entire thing. Not that. Yeah, that. And this is just it's just like on ones at 6 frames per second. The reason I did that is because putting into float frames, it'll, in between these, although you don't have to do that, it'll remove the it'll remove like the copies, which I didn't realize when I made this. But you have to check that in flow frames. Flow frames is kind of a pain in the ass because you have to download the model, and the model is gigantic. It's like 10 or 20 gigabytes, and it's a very slow download. So I'm not sure if I wouldn't recommend using it unless you do a lot of this stuff like I do. For this scene especially, this is what I was thinking, like, man, just like make an animation and then run it through the thing, and then boom. And yeah, like these in-betweens were good enough that I just like used them for the roughs. And like some of these are not good enough, but they still take away a lot of the guesswork. But Twitter says AI bad. Someone was like, did you have to say AI? You know people are going to assume the worst. And I'm like, I'm thinking that I want that. I want that. People need to realize, even the people who hate AI, they need to realize they need to manage their expectations with this shit. It isn't magic. Not even close. And literally every single good idea still has to come out of the human's imagination. And forget good ideas. It's hard enough to come up with a good idea. What about executing your ideas? Well, I'm just saying, the computer can't do that by itself. It's like a baby duckling with an Excalibur. I don't know. That sounds really funny. I should draw that. The AI, it's like a chimp with a machine gun. A baby duckling with Excalibur. Ducktail. Ducktail. It's like, you know, Frump Quest would probably make fun of it. It's like, look how weak it is. I hate animals. And then the duck would just like pull out a giant sword. Or I guess the duck could fly over to the sword, the stone, and pick it out and... Oh shit! I'm not sure if it would be funnier for him to just like yank it out of hammer space. Let me try like with the sword. Maybe he like kicks it. Maybe it's like too close to him. Don't you realize I'm the Choseth one? I'm gonna pull this thing, not some shrimpule. He's like, threatened by a baby duckling. Like it's taking away everything from him. And then like how would it pick it up? Would it hold it in its mouth? The hilt all shiny and make it all curly. And the sword itself could have like gems on it, I guess. Maybe not. Just like draw the edge so there's like a little extra detail on it. It's just like the more detailed, the funnier it is that the baby duckling is holding it. Yeah, like maybe do a panel that takes up the entire screen like this. Like fucking lens flare. Not like that. I don't know how to draw that exactly. I did draw a lens flare once for the United cartoon. You just like draw lines pointing towards it, and then you can figure where the lens flare would go. That. Would it be brightest here, or maybe I'm doing it backwards, where like the little circle should be farther away. I'll know what that's supposed to be later when I do it for real. Giant sword being swung at him. No, better if it's like pointed at him. Coffee. And then there'd probably be a shot where he's running from the baby. Baby is bullying me. Bullying. He's like spanking him with it. Smack. Evil demon baby, don't treat me this way. Evil demon baby, let me get away. Evil demon baby, our hearts are the same. Evil demon baby, I don't want to die today. Or like maybe it'd be funnier if the duck had teeth and he was like chomping down on it. Yeah, I like that. Ducks do have teeth. It'd be funny if like the way he like swung this sword around with his head made it look like he'd like really break his neck. God, like let's try to draw like him twisting his neck to swing the sword. Pathetic looking. He uses the sword to flip him like a meat patty. He could chop him up like an onion. Or no, dust should be chopped up like onions. The sword should be used like to chop them into like bits and then like move the bits away from the rest like that. And then you just see like pieces of his face are still there and like his glasses are still on. And like at the very end is like the end piece of the onion that has like the hairs that you don't want. And his dirty rag, which is not a body, is there too. It's just like more detritus. Preparing him as a dish. Yeah. Man, imagine like back in the day, it's like, what's there even to watch besides Porky Pig? For like, it feels like for like 20 years there was no other Looney Tunes except Porky Pig. Well, it's just weird to me to think about Porky Pig being popular, or like the most popular. I'm sure he's still popular today, but I'm probably more popular than he is. I mean, compared to Bugs Bunny, it's just like... I guess we're just like... Well, like they said that Daffy was... they said Bugs was just Daffy in a rabbit costume. So I think they were just trying to figure out what the most like cartoon thing or something. The most relatable cartoon. Porky cartoons were like, they always had him like dancing with like music, people singing in the background. I guess people got sick of that because they made him into Daffy's sidekick after that. So much better though. His role changed. He never looked at the camera in those episodes. Not sure why I'm thinking about Porky Pig. Oh yeah, because I was just singing that song. That's all. It's just like he was just the default cartoon. That's what I was trying to say. He was the most like default cartoon. You know, I guess they kind of at the time equated him with Mickey. That's just the feeling I get. That like people may have equated him with Mickey Mouse. Like he's basically the same idea. It's just like a cute character who likes to sing and dance. You know, he's pretty easy to draw. This is basically all there is. So, you know, maybe he's got a top hat or something. He's not the worst character, but I think it makes sense that he didn't last as just like vaudeville. Yeah. Like neither did Mickey. You know, Mickey was also much funnier when you put him next to a duck. Also, he has a shirt and a bow tie. Sometimes he just has the bow tie. All you need is that one article. And for God's sake, don't give him 6 nipples. Don't give him a belly button. Put a tattoo of himself there to cover it up. He got it removed. But yeah, like, anybody want to weigh in on this? Like, Bugs Bunny was just like the new default character. Like they kept changing what. Well, I guess they saw what people reacted to. You know, we were talking about What's Up Doc the other day, and something they did that I sort of don't like is they saw how much people reacted to What's Up Doc, and they made Bugs say it in every cartoon. Like, it wasn't actually funny every time he says it, but still. Data. That's data for you, Doc. You think that data was just invented yesterday? Oh no. It's been going on since the 40s, Doc. It's been going on since before that, you know, like they were probably collecting data on cartoons before film existed, you know, like what do people like? What are people more into and what are they less into? You know, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that Bugs Bunny is what people are into and Porky Pig is what people think of when the cartoon is over. This is like all of my content reacting to Dog of Wisdom. It's like, well, I guess we don't matter. And it's like, that's right, Doc, you don't. I mean, it's not even that Porky sucks. It's just that as the default, he sucks, right? We can't rely on him, and even Bugs, we can't rely on him. It's like, it's 1950. Bugs is still going, but his days are numbered. It's 1960. We got What's Opera Doc. It's all over. It's all over. There's no Bugs Bunny cartoons in the 60s. You don't want to watch those if they exist. They're, you know, there is a season for everything. To everything, turn, etc. You can't have the character be relevant forever, can you? Well, I don't know. Maybe you can. I think we do still like Bugs Bunny. But we make him obese. That's how we enjoy him now. He has to be Big Chungus, or else there's nothing to enjoy. It's like, you know, Bugs Bunny has to be fat because we need to make it more ironic and stuff. It doesn't hold up as itself. It needs to be parody. Although this isn't even parody. This was part of the actual cartoon. But I guess it's parody now because people freeze framed it, photoshopped a fedora onto it, and whatnot. This isn't even Fat Bugs Bunny. His face has to be fatter. Yeah, that's me. I don't know. I just think about this stuff as like, you know, Garfield is all like scary and evil, right? His eyes are like black holes, and he's like, John, where's my lasagna, John? And he's, a tentacled demon. This is just how we enjoy Garfield. This is what we have to do to it to keep enjoying it. Otherwise, it's boring. Maybe. I don't know. This is my theory. It's like, where's the lasagna, John? And everyone's laughing as if it were an actual Garfield cartoon and we were laughing at it in the year 1975. He's got like human hands. I was like, you ever think about why this stuff is like appealing, like these kind of parodies? I think about that stuff, and I like wondering about it. I was like, why is it funny to have something become like creepy? I think it's because we're sick of it. It's because we actually hate it. We're sick of how when we were kids, for our entire lives, Garfield was there trying to get our money, trying to get our attention, and now it's just like, well, what if I killed Garfield and then he came back as a demon? I swear Garfield Eldritch Horror was a schmorky thing and then caught on 10 years later. That is kind of true, yeah. Like, Scary Garfield is a pretty old thing. It's going back to like early 2000s when Schmorky would do stuff like that. Schmorky would always do like, Nintendo character saying fuck. Here, let me do a Schmorky drawing. It's just Yoshi with a cigarette in his mouth. Real creative. Saying fuck. But, at one point that was funny. That was interesting, wasn't it? Because this was before Robot Chicken. You couldn't go on TV for anything like this. This was what was interesting at the time, which, you could argue it's still funny, but I don't know about that. I mean, Schmorky did some things that were good. Not everything holds up, though. Some of this stuff is very old. Like, does everything I do hold up? Is Iron Bad still funny? Schmorky would draw everything with a mouse, so it wouldn't quite look like this. It would look more mouse drawn. But yeah, this is the kind of shit that we the kind of shit that in like 2004 was like the kind of like lumpy touch kind of Garfield, scary Garfield kind of thing, which Schmorky also did. It's the shock factor. It gives us some kind of unique interest built to weird human desire to satisfy curiosity. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's like yeah, first and foremost, it gets your attention. Like, let's say you had a YouTube thumbnail, and it's like Glorf Peel. And it's just like, let's say the entire thumbnail is his face. It's like, Wouldn't you click this? You'd click this. He's like grinning. Wait, that's not what Garfield's face looks like. He has like big, like that smile. But like Zorf Peel would be like crying blood. And his pupils would be completely black. And it's like 12 years ago. This stuff is so old now. It's like, I'm sorry, Job. His catchphrase. Everybody gets on that. But yeah. It is weird thinking about why. Because then you have to like understand. I made Barm, which is basically that. It's just like Bart, but evil. I mean, he was always evil, I guess. But I think there's stuff you can only do in a parody, like urination. Right, like a part of me feels like a parody is really just not even a parody sometimes. Like it's just like you're using the character in a way that would not fly if we were talking actually using the like trademark to like sell mouse pads and shit with this character. Like Garfield is a trademark. It's not just a copyright. It's also a product. You can buy a mouse pad or whatever of Garfield. Like, imagine like a Garfield mouse pad with his like gigantic eyes, just like, I guess he'd have to be upside down for this to make sense because the soft part needs to be on the bottom, right? Or wait, have I been using my thing wrong? No, it says Belkin as in that is facing me. So this is the mouse pad. It's upside down. And you put your hand over here. But yeah, like whatever. It's too hard for me to even like talk about anything because my mind just keeps drifting. A trademarked character basically means merchandise. You can sell shit. You can sell Garfield books, cartoons, videos, mouse pads, t-shirts, toys, etc. And that stuff is where the real money from the movie is made. It's fucking true, and I don't make money because I don't merchandise. I did a little bit of moich, but not like not like a crazy amount. Merchandise. Merchandising. So he has a fucking flamethrower. I don't really know how to draw a flamethrower. Forgive me. I've only made like 3 or 4 cartoons with a flamethrower, so I'm not very good at drawing them. This is from Spaceballs. Spaceballs, better than Star Wars. It's so funny, but like I didn't know until I grew up that the same effects studio that made Star Wars worked on Spaceballs. That's why it looks so good. It's like, that's, it's not like it's an official parody where, like, Disney will do that stuff where they'll have like a Star Wars show that's like sarcastic and then like a joke, like Robot Chicken-esque. But like it wasn't like that, you know. Although there was a correspondence between Lucas and Mel Brooks. He asked permission. This is, probably no there's probably nothing he can really do. But like he asked permission, and Lucas was like, "Yeah, that's fine. Just don't make any toys." It's like, fine, That's where copyright stops being a thing, because you can, copyright has fair use. Fair use is a copyright law, not a trademark law. Don't get confused with that shit, because it's like you don't have fair use when it comes to trademark. If you try to make a parody of a t-shirt, you might not be legally able to do that because you're using something in a way that violates trademark. So watch out. So yeah, like Lucas might have he probably knew. Yeah, I'm sure he knew the law. He was probably thinking like, those toys are my real bread and butter. I can't let anybody take that from me. But luckily, he probably legally can't. So him asking nicely not to make toys was really probably more of a warning. Although I think they might have kicked around the idea of making Spaceballs toys, but wouldn't that have been wrong to make so many jokes about merchandising and then do it? Anyway, where were we? I get a toy of Big Helmet Rick Moranis. Yeah, that's pretty good, and it probably should be a toy. It'd be especially funny if it looks like Darth Vader from far away. He's like... he's got like a tie. A tie that looks like a dick. No, light speed's too slow. Oh right, like I'm always thinking about that scene now from Spaceballs, the now scene, because like I keep thinking like right now it's like, oh man, are writers going to be replaced by AI? There's a whole writer's strike going on. We'll see. Then it's going to be like, oh shit, are artists going to be replaced by AI? Man, we don't even know what this thing can do. And then it's just going to keep advancing until it's just now from Spaceballs. It's just now from Spaceballs. You turn on the TV and it's just an image of you looking at it. And it's just like the computer isn't, there's no camera behind you or anything. The computer is it just knows exactly what is going on. And is making like a perfect representation of it. Like in the movie, there's like, make it really crude. There's like a scene where they're like, we need to get the good guys. So like, what do we do? And it's like, I know, let's watch Spaceballs, the movie. And it's like, are you serious? It's like, yes, sir, we have the movie on VHS before it's even done being filmed. So they like, in the movie Spaceballs, they get the tape for Spaceballs, and they put it into the TV, and they like watch all the scenes where they get hurt, and they're like, no, fast forward, and then they fast forward to this, and it's just like, what is this? It's like, we're looking at now. It's like, what do you mean now? It's now. Well, what happened to then? That was then. This is now. And it's just like trying to understand this, what, why, how. But yeah, that's just gonna be real life soon. Man, computer graphics have been around for 50 years. Isn't that wild? Isn't that weird? I mean, my parents, the people who were born in my parents' generation are in their 70s. They're in their 70s and 80s. It's been a while since computer graphics started. That was 50 years ago. Although I'm starting to wonder, the next thing is not going to take that long. We're going to be at Spaceballs now in like 20 years at the rate things are going. Or, could be happening now. Now is a weird time because you never do something now when you say now. It's always a few seconds later. Everything that's ever happened in the now. But it's always in the past now, which is in the past now, which is in the past now, which is now in the past. Is anybody there to like moderate this shit? There's spammers. So I'm still gonna use Flash, no matter how much changes. I feel like I'm still gonna use Flash. I would replace Flash if somebody who was also like into Flash. I don't even know what I'm drawing. Drug dust before he was before the accident. Oh no, his hair should be like actual stalks. Here he is, enjoying life. He's got a job and everything. Okay, his glasses are not broken. Here's before Frump and after. Eternal screaming. Eternally, internally screaming. Faces stuck that way. Like mom always warned. Flamethrowers could be simple. Let's look at the M2 flamethrower. It's just a backpack, a stick, and a cone tip, really. Let's see if I remember anything from when I used to make TF2 fan art in 2009. It's just like a hose, isn't it? I don't remember. Maybe it has like holding it with just like a ball with a hose. I don't know if I can. Here's your flamethrower. It's just like a gas tank on fire. Or doesn't it have like, it has like one thing for the gas and then another thing for, it's just like a little flame, right? I don't know. Crazy, I think that 3D animation was the only thing in movies in the last 30 years. It's been going on a little longer than that. If you look back into the like 70s and 80s, there is a lot of 3D animation. It's just like not quite what it, you know. Look, compare that to like Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, the greatest looking movie in history. Well, I mean, for 2000, it was like the pinnacle. Like 1994 or 1995, right? That was Toy Story. So like, you know, let's see if instead of like see computer graphics timeline, let's see if there's an image already so I don't have to make one. Nah, this isn't gonna be what we want. So like, let me just like show for comparison like what it looked like. This was 2000, I believe, and then look at the this is so cool. This was awesome. It's like, you know, the climactic scene from Star Wars, the like really importantest part of the last movie, where they fire proton torpedoes into the air vent. Cones. Those are cones. They're cones. Those are cones. Those proton torpedoes are cones. That's like the most badass thing. I love that. It's 1978, and we're doing computer graphics. Man, imagine now making a cone and being like, this is my art. Everyone would laugh at you. But that probably wasn't the first use of computer graphics in a movie either. The first use of it was, well, I'm not really a historian on this stuff, but yeah, there were like varying levels of like first uses, because it's like, you know, a movie like Tron made like very heavy use of it. I hate how if you look up Tron, all you get are the fucking new movies. Tron old. It's, you know, kind of kooky looking now, but also really cool. Experimental looking. And that was 1982. I don't know. I just thought these cones were so cool, because I noticed that while watching it. I just like looked at it, and they're cones. They're just cones. I thought the torpedoes were stop motion. They might have been, but I doubt it. I'm pretty sure those are 3D cones. They used like a little tiny bit of 3D in the first Star Wars, and then by the time, I guess, yeah, like 1997, the whole thing was 3D. They remade Star Wars, the original trilogy, with terrible CG. And I think since then they've been quietly replacing those scenes. And like, look at this. This should not be allowed. Look at this shit. They did this scene over and over because it, I guess at the time they were a little eager to get this test made, right? They put it into the movie, and it really should have just been like in the bonus features. Not only because the CG is extremely dated, but also because this is not the character. He's not allowed to talk to him that way ever. I think that's just not who Jabba is. He's not allowed to do that to Jabba. But yeah, like they animated this over live action where they had like an actor where Jabba is standing, and it's pretty cool actually, but it looks terrible. And then they remade it in 2004, and it still looks terrible. It looks better, but terrible. Like, here's all three versions side by side. This was the original Jabba. He was like a Scottish guy. Then there was this Jabba, who was the 1997 3D. And then there's this fucking Jabba, who looks like a scab. I mean, you know, this is probably the best one. It's the most accurate. But even still, it's like the animation is very dated. It doesn't look quite right. And I don't know if they would. They probably will make it again and again. Ugh. Oh. Baby Jabba fan art. I'm not posting that. I'm not showing you that. It's like Star Wars. Fan-made Baby Jabba is almost as cute as Baby Yoda, and it's disgusting. Ew. Anyway, I don't know how I got onto this train of thought. Let me remove some of these and put them into the sketch doc, because they're not related to FrumpleQuest. Or actually, yeah, they are related. The ones that are related should still be, because this is just the sword doc, and then this is the sketch one. No. There we go. Anyway, Should probably go to the store soon. Let me finish my coffee and then stop my stream. But let me do a little bit more sketches. Just like come up with a couple more ideas maybe. Free. Take for me. Hee hee hee. Ho ho ho. Yeah, I suppose taking slow mode off hasn't been the worst disaster. That's all the coffee, so we do like 3 more drawings and then probably gonna go to the store. There you go. That's what I mean by pushing poses. Let's pull it back a bit. Just a bit. He looks like a reptile. He's not supposed to be anything, but he resembles a shark and a reptile a bit. Release me faster, you will have to answer to my gaping ass. I wonder if you can make a mature audiences warning on YouTube. That might be good if you could do that. Anyway, I gotta go to the bathroom. So, thanks for watching.